أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. In this 10th lesson, inshallah, we are going to learn a few patterns that are used for making tools or instruments in Arabic. Alright, so let's begin our lesson. And before doing so, of course, we're going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this task easier for all of us to understand as well as to teach. Okay, so Rabbi Yassir wala tu'assir wa tamim bil khair. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. Now, first things first, what exactly is a tool? By the way, this is called Ism Aala in Arabic. Okay, Aala. Aala is a tool. Alright, so what exactly is a tool? A tool is any object that helps us accomplish a task. Okay, or any instrument or any tool, any object that helps us accomplish a task, that's a tool. So before proceeding to the Arabic patterns, let's study a couple of examples in English. Alright, so here I have the first three examples that are as follows. I have the words bottle opener, toothpaste dispenser, and applicator. Now, do you see a common trend in these three examples? I hope you can, because if you notice, all three of these have been formed by the addition of a suffix. Okay, now that suffix may be different, but the commonly used suffixes are er and or. Okay, so opener, so it is a tool that helps us open something. Then dispenser, it is a tool or an instrument that helps us dispense the toothpaste on toothbrush. Okay, then applicator, it is any instrument or a tool that helps us apply something over something else. Okay, so that's one of the ways of making tools in English. Okay, now what about the next three examples? Here you can see there is no suffix. These are the original words. Alright, so they're not the derivatives by any means, they are simply the original words. So key is something that unlocks, medicine is something that heals, bulb is something that gives us light. Okay, so what do we observe in both the examples? We see that a tool in English can be made by either adding a suffix, in which case it would be a derivative, all right, or it could be an original word itself, in which case it would of course not be a derivative. Okay, so the derivative ones are here and the original ones are here. Okay, now what's happening in Arabic? Exactly the same thing. Okay, so in Arabic you can form the derivative, I mean you can form the tools or ism ala by a certain pattern, okay, as is the norm in English in Arabic grammar. Okay, or you could have the original word itself. Now our focus would be the pattern one. Okay, so we'll be seeing how a tool is formed by using certain patterns. Okay, so let's proceed. All right, now these are the 5 patterns that you should know. These are the only 5 patterns there are for Ism Ala. Okay, all right, so as you can see there are 5 patterns and we'll address them one by one. Let's look at this one first. Okay, so our pattern is mif'alun. Okay, and what's happening here, if you want to, what would happen here if you would want to superimpose the root letters, you are going to get a result something like this. Okay, so if you had the root letters of Sad, Ba, Ha, and you superimpose these root letters onto the pattern of Mif'al, alright, you're going to get Misbahun. Okay, so Misbahun would technically mean something or a tool or an instrument that gives light. Okay, for example a lamp. Okay, Now, the pattern for any plural of mif'alun would be mafa'ilun. Okay? I'm sorry, mafa'ilu. No, it's not mafa'ilun, it's mafa'ilu. Okay? And why is this point important? This point is important because it is jama mukassir and it is ghair munsarif. Why? Because it doesn't carry a tanween. Okay, it doesn't carry a tanween, as a result of which it is ghair munsarif. And yeah, mafa'ilu is jama mukassir, ghair munsarif. And that is a plural of anything that gets made with the pattern of mif'alun. Okay, so that's what. Now, the next two patterns are quite identical or similar. So our second pattern is mif'alun, okay, and the third pattern is mif'alatun, okay. So once again, if you or when you superimpose the root letters over these two patterns, you're going to get the derivative. For example, if you have the root letters of N, Ra, and Jim, and you superimpose these three root letters over the pattern of Mif'alun, you'll get the derivative Mi'rajun. Alright, and this would technically mean something that helps you reach heights. Okay, and well, we call those things stairs. Alright, okay, then Mif'alatun. Here we have the root letters and we get the word mirwahatun. Okay, a fan, something that gives air, that would be mirwahatun. Now, the plural pattern for mif'alatun and mif'alun is mafa'ilu. Alright, and this is mafa'ilu. Alright, and that one was mafa'ilu. Alright, mafa'ilu. Okay, and this one is mafa'ilu. Alright, this one is mafa'ilu. Alright, so and same was the case, same as the case was there in mafa'ilu. Here as well, you can see that mafa'ilu does not bear a tanween, so this means that it is a ghair munsarif ism. Alright, it is of course jama mukassir and ghair munsarif. Alright, alright. The fourth pattern is muf'ulatun. Alright, and for example, mukhulatun. Now, the root letters, as you can identify from this derivative, are kaf, ha, and lam. Kohl. Okay, so kohl is this black dye that people put or apply in their eyes, and well, most of you must be familiar with this. Alright, it's also called kajal in the desi households in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh areas. Alright, so it's kohul. It's a black dye that people apply to their eyes. Okay, now the applicator, the stick, the applicator of this kohul is called mukhulatun. Okay, so this thing here, this is mukhulatun. Okay, now the final pattern is fa'alun, and I find it really cool because what it means and the concept that it imparts to the derivative is mind-blowing. Okay, and I'm going to share the example, the mind-blowing example, in the end of this lecture, inshallah. But here, while we are doing this introductory brief review of all the patterns, let me tell you this much, that the pattern of fa'alun is like a stamp, or it is like a seal, all right, that authenticates anything. Okay, so just as you have the seal of achievement over here, all right, so you find these seals on degrees or certificates, all right, so all these things, or other verdicts, all right, so you find these seals on such legal and important documents, and they are more of a declaration of something. All right, so that's why you make it more official, more authentic. All right, so the pattern of fa'alun imparts the meaning or the concept or the essence of something being an authentic seal of whatever root word or the root meanings have been superimposed in the pattern of fa'alun. Okay, so for example, if you have the root letters of kha, ta, and mim, all right, it would mean the end, or end, or ending. All right, you superimpose these three root letters on the pattern of fa'alun, so it would mean a seal or a stamp, an authentic declaration of the end. Now, why am I saying the end? Because the meaning of the root letters kha, ta, mim would be or is end. Okay, so how you're going to describe or how you're going to translate or understand the meaning of fa'alun in your head is as follows. It is a seal or a declaration that authenticates the, and then fill in the blank where the meaning of the root word is going to come. Okay, and I'm going to elaborate this thing in the end by giving you another example. Okay, so don't worry if you don't quite get it at this stage. All right, so these are our 5 patterns. Mif'alun, once again, let's just review it again. We have mif'alun, mif'alun, mif'alatun, muf'alatun, and fa'alun. Mafa'ilu is the jama mukassir of mif'alun, all right, and mafa'ilu is the jama mukassir of mif'alatun and mif'alun. All right, here it is mafa'ilu, here it is mafa'ilu. All right, so these are our patterns of ism Aala, and now we're going to look at a few examples. All right, so our first example is as follows. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. Now, apart from, with the exception of this word zayyana, I'm sure that you guys now understand exactly what is meant by the rest of the sentence. Okay, so you guys know what laqad is, what huwa is, what as-sama ad-dunya is. All right, and I have just told you what bi masabiha is. Okay, so let's just study it very briefly. First of all, walaqad, and indeed, zayyana, it means we decorated, as-sama ad-dunya. Alright, now my first question is, which fragment is this? Is this fragment muzaf muzaf ilayh, or is it mawsuf sifa? Now, if you guys have watched the lecture on muzaf muzaf ilayh and mawsuf sifa, I'm sure that you're saying that this is not the muzaf muzaf ilayh fragment. This is in fact your mawsuf sifa fragment. All right, why? Because a muzaf can never ever be prefixed with al, but here we see that the word as-sama is actually prefixed with al, which simply negates its possibility of being a muzaf. Therefore, this fragment is not muzaf muzaf ilayh, and therefore it will not be translated as sky of or the sky of the world. Okay, please don't ever translate this phrase as a muzaf ilayh. Okay, because it is mawsuf sifa. Now, why am I saying it is a mawsuf sifa? Well, that's because all the 4 properties of an ism are identical in this scenario. All right, this one is marfa, ad-dunya is also marfa. This is nasab, so is this. And the word dunya is actually mabni, which means that its rafa, nasab, and jar forms are identical. All right, so its chances of being nasab are higher. All right, because there's the reason for it to be jar and rafa as well. Okay, so chances are, and almost 100% chances are that it is nasab. Okay, all right. So that's what. All right. So all the four properties, and this one is one in number. So is this. Okay. So that's why we can see that this is actually mawsuf sifa. Now the word dunya is translated as the world. All right. Why is it so? It is because the word dunya means lowest. Okay, and this world is also the lowest. Okay, so it's at the lowest location. All right, so that's why this world is also called dunya because it is lowest. All right, so the word dunya in itself means the lowest. Now, if you combine these two, or if you translate this Mawsuf Sifa fragment in light of the translation that I just gave you for the word dunya, you would say that the closest, or the lowest sky. Okay, that's how you would translate it, as the lowest sky. Okay, so we decorated the lowest sky with what? With masabiha. Now this is a pattern of mafa'ila, right? And mafa'ila was the jama mukassir of mif'alun, right? So misbahun becomes masabiha, all right? And of course this is a jar majroor fragment, as you can see. Okay, and since it is ghair munsarif, it is not going to carry a kasra in spite of being majroor. Okay, it's going to carry a fatha in its jar form too. Okay, so this was our first example. Then we have our second example, which is La tanqusul mikyala wal mizana. Do not reduce the measurement and the scale. Now this La tanqusu is your forbidding command, and inshallah we'll learn making them in the next section. And al mikyal and wal mizan, they are the patterns of mif'alun once again. Okay, and well, our second example is also done. Now our final example, or more of a mind-blowing thing that I would like to share with you all, which is of course in relation to the pattern of fa'alun. Okay, now I told you that there are root letters that mean different things, of course, all right? And if we superimpose any root letter on the pattern of fa'alun, it would mean an accentuated and intense declaration that authenticates its meanings, right? So we have the root letters of an, lam, mim, which means knowledge. Now use this set of root letters in the pattern of fa'alun. It would become alamun, right? Now alamun therefore literally means that it is a tool that is an authentic seal of knowledge, or it is a tool that is an authentic declaration or an authentic stamp of knowledge. Okay, therefore we can simply rephrase this entire thing as an authentic knowledge giving tool. Okay, an authentic knowledge giving tool, such as a label or a logo or a monogram. Okay, so we all have logos, we all know what a logo is, we all know what a monogram is, and what is its purpose. It's more like a stamp or a seal that this thing belongs to this person. Okay, all copyrights reserved. So it's that. Now, commonly the word alamun is translated as the world or the universe, right? Everything that's around us, that is alam, the world or the universe. Now, my question is that why is the world or universe called alam? Because the alam, grammatically speaking, is an authentic knowledge given tool, such as a label or logo or a monogram. All right, so my answer in light of this translation is that the alam is the authentic knowledge giver about its creator, who of course is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so basically the alam is an authentic knowledge giver about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now let that sink in. We started with the 3 root letters of Ain, Lam, Mim, right? Which means knowledge. Then we put those root letters in the pattern of Fa'alun, and that gave us the translation of an authentic knowledge giving tool. Okay? Then we thought, knowledge giving tool about what? Whose knowledge are you giving to us? Then of course it can only give us a stamp or a logo or a monogram, can only give us the information about its creator. Okay, the one to that thing, the one to whom that thing belongs, right? So basically alam is the authentic knowledge giver tool of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's why Allah Ta'ala has always invited all of us, all the mankind, to look around in his surroundings, look at all these beautiful things around us, be it the weather, be it the skies, be it the planets or the other heavenly bodies, the moon, even all the other natural phenomena such as the rain, sunrise, earthquakes, all right. So and then we have all those subatomic particles, we have the subatomic organization, we have the atoms on the molecules, and electron, proton, and neutrons, and all those things, all right. Then we have even if you look at the whether you look at the subatomic or the microscopic level, or you go beyond that, if you look at the macroscopic level, such as the planets and the galaxies, the stars, the physical process over there, all right. So you've got the fission fusion reactions happening all the time in the stars, and then we are not even disturbed by it, because thank goodness the sound waves do not travel in vacuum. So but we make use of the heat that is given off as a result of those fission fusion reactions, right? So it's simply mind-blowing, because when you start pondering on these things, and we haven't even started looking at the human body, at the functions of the tiniest little things present in the human body, and then all the plants are over there. There are so many different varieties of animals. We haven't even touched the surface, or we haven't even scratched the surface rather. And there are so many things out there, and even around us, we ourselves are the marvel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. So that's the reason. And guess what, all of us, even if we are present in a room that is filled with inanimate objects, everything around us is actually bearing or carrying a stamp or a seal or a monogram of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you think it that way, you are truly humbled, and then you know something happens. Okay, something magical happens, and you get in the awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that and this is something that cannot really be put in words. Okay, so that's the reason um, that's the reason all of us, all the mankind, has been invited to reflect on the alam. And what is alam? It is the sunrise, different weathers, the sunset, rain, winds, snowfall. I mean, snowfall is so beautiful, isn't it? Then we've got a subatomic organization, we've covered that. Then we have the structure of all the humans, right? So I mean, the subject of genetics is simply amazing. How a simple protein can determine a person's physical properties, its function, and so many other things is simply astounding. It's amazing, incredible. All right, then you've got the plants, and how the plants survive, how they make their food while staying put, staying in one place. And it's all amazing. It's all alam. All right, so everything around us, be it an inanimate object, be it that wooden chair right in front of me at the moment, or be it anything that is present right in front of you. Even the glass that might be sitting right in front of you on that desk, it is also bearing the seal or the stamp of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it's giving you the knowledge. Now it's your job to to study it, to know it, to study deeper, to find out more about it. All right, because these things simply put you in awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's a wonderful feeling. Okay, and that's the reason we have been told, actually not just invited but told a million times in the Quran Pak to ponder over the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are all the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even literally as well. All right, so you've got the signature. You know how the word sign is actually the short form, kind of a short form of signature, and everything around us actually bears the signature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, now it's our job to delve deeper into it and find out how incredible all these things are. Okay, so I would say that it is the word alamun is extremely powerful, but it is also very underrated. We have not done justice to it. It's a very deep word, and I love this word now. Okay, so that was about the word alam, and about the about the pattern fa'alun, and how amazing it was. Now I'll see you in the next lesson, inshallah, and that would be about ism fa'il and ism maf'ul, and I'll tell you how you can differentiate between these two. And these are basically the words that begin with okay, so these are the words that begin with mu. Alright, so mufsidun, mufassirin, mukazzibin, muallimun, muslimun, munawwaratun, mukarramatun, mujahidun, all these mu words, that's how I like to call them. All the mu words are included in your ism fa'il or maf'ul, and I'll inshallah ta'ala tell you how to differentiate between these two words in the next lesson. Alright, so I'll see you then. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al Hakim. Allah Hafiz.